What's going on, everybody? It's me again, Golden Blue Dude. And if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. What I do college football videos every single day. Look, it's a long off season, and I'm here to get you through it. Don't forget to check out our Patreon page. A lot of time and effort going into that. And I call my Patreons the shot callers because I let them call the shots with video ideas and what teams I do previews and predictions first this year. We also have a great website designed and created by Joey Foster, 8 great writers led by our head writer Michael Walker. And I can't forget about our merchandise store. A lot of great stuff over there. And as you can see, I have my 2 t-shirts. I'm sure you'll find something for you. Today I want to talk about the future of the NCAA, or the lack thereof. We already know that Mark Emmert, the current NCAA president, is stepping down June 2023. The big question is, number 1, who's going to replace him? Number 2, what is the NCAA going to be like under the new leadership? Will there be an NCAA? A lot of people are saying, including George Kliavkoff, the Pac-12 commissioner, that the NCAA presidency is not an enviable job and not sure if anybody wants it. And he's correct. So far, nobody is interested in the job of being the next NCAA president. No interest, no nothing as of right now. Jim Phillips, the ACC commissioner, he said if you're going to pass the baton, to a new leader, it's probably the right time. That first part of the sentence is a big deal, guys. He didn't just say it's the right time to find a new leader. He said if you're going to pass the baton. In other words, if the NCAA is going to continue to exist. The AAC commissioner, Mike Oresco, he actually had a few questions as to what the job of the new NCAA president is going to be. What is it going to entail? Will it be to simply dismantle the NCAA? Will it be to put the decisions into the hands of the conferences and the schools instead of the NCAA itself? What about the NIL issues? Right now it looks like the NIL is being used as an excuse to simply buy players and to retain players. In other words, pay for play. And will the NCAA be able to retain the amateur model for college sports? We already know that the NCAA has adopted a new constitution including structure and mission changes, and everybody's expecting that the NCAA's responsibility will significantly diminish. In other words, their hands are going to be slowly coming off, maybe to eventually where they're going to be doing something like this. Nope, don't look at me. We have no control anymore. We're actually going to run a contest through this college football season for College Game Day. If you can get a Golden Blue Dude sign onto College Game Day, we will award you a $100 credit for the merchandise store. And yes, you can win multiple times. So if you can get the sign up on there 3 times, that's $300 towards our merchandise store. And if we have weeks to where there's multiple entries, then I'll have to look and see who has the best sign. But I'll still award those other entries for that week some smaller prizes. So make the best Golden Blue Dude sign possible and get on College Game Day. One of the big things that needs to be looked into is the composition of the boards. Does it need to be changed, or is it good as is? A lot of people think that people not connected to the schools and with no special interest should be a part of these boards. Not shockingly, the SEC Commissioner Greg Sankey, he disagrees. He says to keep the people connected to schools and conferences on the boards because they know what the universities want and need. Why that doesn't surprise me is because he's the commissioner of the SEC. And right now the SEC is making the most money. And the SEC gets the benefits of most of the decisions made by the NCAA. So he's like, no. Keep people that are connected to the universities and the schools and the conferences as a part of the boards. Right now, the SEC has a strong influence on the boards. So, of course, Greg Sankey is going to be against it. So the question is, number 1, will there be a new NCAA president? Who is that new NCAA president going to be? Because nobody has shown any interest. And what will his responsibilities be? Honestly, I think the future of the NCAA is going to be done and over with. I don't think the NCAA is going to exist for very much longer. I said within 5 years. We might be looking at within the next 2 years as far as completely doing away with the NCAA. Probably not going to retain the amateur model. This is basically going to be a semi-pro sports type of situation. The concept of the NIL was a good idea because I thought it was right for the players to be able to make money off their name, image, and likeness. The universities were making money off of it. The conferences were making money off of it. The players themselves should be able to make money off themselves. What has happened is it's turned into an excuse to use it as a pay for play. In other words, money exchanging hands, legal. Can't do anything about it. And the transfer portal situation. Is there such thing as tampering? Yes, tampering is talking to these athletes before they enter the transfer portal. Once they enter the transfer portal, it's fine. You can talk to them. You can do business. You can give them money for them to play for you, but before they enter the transfer portal, you're not supposed to talk to them. Well, that's not what's going on. People are talking to these athletes and convincing them to enter the transfer portal to come to their school. Problem is, how do you get proof of that? Problem is, does anybody want to spend the time and the energy to actually look into it? The answer is no. There's probably no way to actually get proof of that unless you did some serious digging, and nobody wants to spend that kind of time and money to do that. And they have their own special interest in that. Maybe they've done it in the past, and they don't want to be exposed either. So this is a tricky situation. I've already given several options as to what's going to happen in the future. The first option, one of the major conferences will get picked apart and cease to exist. The second option was what Dabo Swinney said. 40, 50 schools going to break away from the NCAA, create their own league, create their own national championship, pretty much create their own separate brand. And then the third option was complete merging. Two bigger conferences, complete merging. All members involved. One of those things will happen. Now, as far as the second idea, as far as Dabo Swinney saying that 40, 50 teams going to split off from the NCAA, that might not even have to happen anymore. The NCAA just might simply cease to exist. So they won't even have to split off from the NCAA. They could just do it. Create their own league, create their own national championship, create their own brand, and make a lot of money, because that's what this is all about, making money. There is a lot of money that goes into college athletes, specifically college football and college basketball. People have finally realized, oh man, this is a money-making machine. How can we exploit this? And that's exactly what they've done. They've exploited the money-making process for college athletes, specifically college football and college basketball. So in my opinion, I do think the NCAA will cease to exist. My original opinion was within 5 years. I'm going to say within 2 to 3 years now. I do think that there will be a new NCAA president, but I think his job will be to dismantle the NCAA. They will bring in a guy that they want that can dismantle the NCAA in a way that doesn't look suspicious. It's going to be done away with, and those bigger brands that make a ton of money, they're going to create their own league, they're going to create their own national championship, they're going to create their own brand, and they're going to make a lot of money. However, this makes me sad because it's pretty much the end of college athletics as we know it. I mean, it's not the end of it, it's the end of it how we know it. So basically, it's going to turn into whoever has the most money is going to have the most success, which is basically how it's been over the past 20 years. But the programs that didn't make as much money as the other programs still have a chance. In the future situation, they're not going to have a chance. Whoever makes the most money will be the most successful on the field, because they'll be able to buy the best players. They'll be able to retain the best players. That's one thing that's not being talked about enough. It's one thing to buy these players. It's another thing to retain these players. And it's going to take a lot of money to do both of those. I already know for a fact that players are being paid to leave one university and go to another. I also know for a fact that players are already being paid to stay at a university. That's not changing anytime soon. It will come to light, but when it comes to light, it's going to be legal and part of the game. That's the future of college athletics, whether you like it or not. Y'all let me know in the comments section what you think of this situation. Honestly, it makes me a little sad, but there's nothing I can do about it. That's all I got for you for this show. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you on my next show.